boy, the youngest producer.
Hey guys, we're the Adwesies and welcome back to our YouTube channel where we talk about all things Adwesi and our move to Ghana. In today's video we're going to be talking about the cost of living here in Ghana. It's been a question a lot of people have asked, so yeah, we're really eager to share insight around that, some key lessons we've learned, so you can maybe avoid some pitfalls we've fallen in as well.
So first of all, I'm going to start with a necessity, something we all need and use every single day, and that is water. Water, water, water. Now for us coming from the UK, we cannot drink the water here in Ghana. There's been times when I've run the tap and it's come out brown. It's just not that kind of thing. So if you're moving from abroad, please, it's a well-known fact, you drink bottled water only. So that naturally comes with a cost. We probably get a pack of 12 of water for about 21 cities. You've got popular brands like Bell Aqua and Baltic that we tend to go towards. We've also got a water dispenser in our house because you need water in this hot sun. And we get about 2 litres of a big bottle of water that goes into the dispenser, and that costs us between 12 to 15 cities per container. So that's another cost that adds into it because we can't just use the water from the tap. But just in terms of general bathing, cleaning, things that you use, even cooking, to be fair, the water that's here, you do have it where the government has been supplying it, which is great. And then also with our house we have the poly tank, which is a huge container where the water flows from that. But like I said, it's not always the best because I guess like sand and dust and everything gets in it, but it's yeah, it's another cost. So that's one thing to be aware of. Obviously in the UK we're used to paying monthly water bills, but that's just not the case here. It adds up, it really does add up.
Yeah, similar to the situation with water, with electricity, it's a real pay-as-you-go system. So there is like a monthly direct debit, which many of us are used to, with a seemingly fixed price. Obviously it still does fluctuate in the UK and other countries. But here, yeah, with electricity, it's literally pay-as-you-go. And we're presently staying in my dad's house, so that's where we're living at the moment. We're due to move house in a few months, but his house is very big. It's like a 10-bedroom house, plus we power the swimming pool and the boys' quarters, so it's probably not the best estimate to gauge by, but we usually spend anywhere between 700 cities to 1,000 cities a month, so that works out to £100 to about £140, etc. So yeah, it's just something to bear in mind. Obviously the larger the house, and on top of that you've got to think about your backup electricity too. So we had to purchase a generator, and then obviously on top of that we have to purchase fuel whenever there is dumsor, so that's when the electricity cuts light out. It's not as frequent as it used to be back in the day, but it still does occur from time to time. So it's important when you're factoring in your cost for electricity, you're thinking about the backup and the cost that entails to purchase the backup and to run it as well.
Another big necessity that we all need day to day is food. Food is always the thing on my mind. I love food so much. But food shopping here, I would say, you could probably say 2 main ways of doing it. You have the wonderful markets here in Ghana, which are, you can basically get anything you need. Just to break things down, a box of chicken could be 120 cities. I think there are about 23 pieces in that. If you're looking at oil, a big tub of oil, that's about 60 cities. One thing I would say is probably similar price to the UK is rice. That's about 250 cities. So you can get all of this in the market, but what's great about the market is you can also find like really cheap things, because things like tomatoes, cucumber, lettuce, green peppers, all those things where it's fresh, organic, grown here, you can get for quite cheap. So the market is amazing, and you can basically get anything The only issue with the market is that you have to leave really early in the day to get to the market, to really have a good day there, to get all the pieces that you need, and then come home, and then it just ends up taking half a day to a day. And for me, I'm very used to just popping into like Tesco or Sainsbury's or something and being there for an hour or two. So that's the big difference, I would say. And the other way that people shop also is a normal supermarket. You have ShopRite, there's Palace Mall, and there's Melcoms. There's very popular supermarkets around Ghana that you see. There's chains, and what's great is that, for me anyways, I can find the few little British things that I'm used to, and that just kind of helps me when I want something that I'm comfortable with. But I would also say things can be quite expensive. So for example, I remember I bought bacon one time and it was like £6 or £7 for a packet of bacon that probably only had like 6 rashers in it. And that was a shock, but because I was craving it, I bought it. Don't judge me. So yeah, you can absolutely get everything and anything here, and I would say those are the 2 main ways to shop, but it does add up depending on what your taste buds are. So yeah.
Another super important thing to consider is the cost of internet and data.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at the moment we live a bit too far out from the city to be able to take advantage of standard broadband and fibre optic. So we have to rely on data services and the broadband units that use data as opposed to using the wired connection. So yeah, we wouldn't be able to tell you the full estimate of those packages, but for what we're using at the moment, when we first came to Ghana, we were using a Vodafone modem, and we were working with Vodafone, but we found them to be too expensive, and the data would literally just like, it felt like it was just disappearing, and they were just charging us ridiculously. There's a few other options like Airtel, Tigo, and other providers, but we ended up landing on MTN. So for our mobile phones, for about 200 gig of data, it cost us around 400 cedis. And then for the little modem box we have, for 2 terabytes of data, that costs us 1,500 cedis. So yeah, that's how we've been getting by in terms of data and the internet. And in the months to come, when we're more central, we'll be able to give you more of an estimate around broadband and internet costs when it's wired.
I would have to say, actually, the one we have on our phone, I found that lasted quite a while. So it's not like a set time frame where it's like a monthly bill payment. Once it's, like as Will said, it's a pay-as-you-go thing. And so we topped up with the 200 gigabytes, and that probably lasted me like almost 3 months. Yeah. Or 4, like it was really good. And that was also with my laptop being connected on personal hotspot, Sienna's iPad, so it works really well. But it's very much a pay-as-you-go system here. Another thing that is needed for everyone to live in Ghana is transport. So here, a common way that we get around is driving. So it's amazing because Will drives here, which is great. I'm still a bit touch and go with the roads. If anyone knows about Ghana roads, we all know it's not for the faint-hearted. So I trust my amazing husband to take us places. He done, what did you do, like an international? Yeah,
international driver's permit,
yeah,
which converted my UK license into a permit that I could drive out here for 3 years on. So
yeah, so it's amazing. So that was quite good and quite straightforward to get as well.
Yeah, it only cost about $70, I believe. So
yeah. And here they do drive on the other side of the road to the UK, but Will's had experience driving in Spain and so on, so it was fine. So that's the normal way people get around, just driving. The issue with that is, number one, there is a lot of traffic. I'm sure everyone has heard about the busy traffic in Accra and Tema and so on, but that's because driving is the way people get around. And also, number two, petrol. As William has mentioned, we don't live in the city centre, so just going anywhere takes up a lot of petrol or diesel in our car, so that's a cost that, you know, just goes on top of it. Also, the roads here aren't amazing, so I would say we have to factor in wear and tear in terms of if your tyres pop or if it gets scratched somewhere, or if I definitely think it's a different. We have a lot more incidents here in Ghana than the UK. I don't know, but then the UK get parking tickets, so it doesn't really make a difference, anyways. So yeah, driving is number one, and then after that, people take the trotro or okada, which is the motorbike. That's their bus and the motorbike, which is very cheap, and it literally takes you everywhere and anywhere. People do prefer the motorbike because you can swerve in and out of traffic, but like I said, driving in a car is not for the faint-hearted, so I'll just stick to a nice comfortable car. Also, so the cost of that is very cheap. I think I went to the market and it was literally like 2 cities, 3 cities, so it's very, very cheap to get around in that way. For people that live in the UK or USA, we know Uber is here in Ghana, everyone uses it, and what's great is not that expensive. Another way is actually a safe way to get around, which is why most of us use it anyways, because you know your driver, you've got the details. You can pay by cash or card. I think they prefer cash payments.
There's sometimes problems if you try to pay by card.
If you pay by card, they prefer cash, but literally it's not that expensive to get around. I also use Bolt, so we have Bolt in the UK and there's Bolt here in Ghana too, which is slightly cheaper at times, when they give you those discounts. So to get around is actually pretty easy, and I would say no matter where you are from in the world, you'll be able to get around Ghana quite smoothly, and it's not too expensive. But like I said, we've got a car, so most of our cost goes to petrol and wear and tear.
Another thing to obviously consider in the cost of living is where you're going to live, so rent. Fortunately, as mentioned earlier, we're currently staying in a family home, and we're actually buying a home more central. But in terms of general rent costs, we did look into it because we were considering between buying or renting for the season to come. So yeah, rent it's crazy to see the extreme differences. I know someone local to me here who's paying about 200 cedis a month for a bedroom, but then we have friends who recently stayed in cantonments who had an apartment which was $4,000 a month. And the crazy thing about rent here in Ghana is that unless it's a short-term serviced apartment, you would actually end up having to pay for a year or two up front. So whatever that monthly cost is, you'd have to pay a massive lump sum if you want to stay in somewhere long term. So it's definitely something to consider. Not to be in a haste to move over unless you have that kind of in line, because it can be quite expensive. I guess it is good knowing that you're not paying the monthly cost anymore, you've paid it in one hit, but at the same time that's a lot of money to have to raise for living. So yeah, that's definitely something to consider.
And another point which I think is a necessity, because self-care is very important. It's hair and nails and waxing and all those amazing things that we do, especially as women.
I just felt like I should step in on this one because due to all my hair, I think I'm definitely a specialist on this.
Yeah,
In terms of the cost of hair for myself here in Ghana, the average trim cost me about 7 cedis.
7 cedis?
Yeah, but sometimes I go a bit
Less
wild.
than a pound.
Sometimes I go wild, I ball out, and I might pay like 10 cedis.
Wow. Is that a tip or just because?
It just depends on how I'm feeling. Yeah, it's a tip or it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like if you want a cheaper haircut, you're looking at 7 to 10 cedis. If you want a super premium one in the city, it does go up a bit, but yeah, 7 to 10 cedis would do the job if you want to look like me. If you want fantastic, I wouldn't say a fantastic hairline, because the hairline doesn't start nor end.
It doesn't exist, does it, babe?
Yeah, it doesn't exist. So yeah, 7 to 10 cedis for that. Another thing, sorry I'm taking over at this point.
Right,
another thing to consider if you're a bit sporty, athletic, want to stay in good shape, is massages. So I actually I have some back issues as well, so I regularly go for massages, and it usually costs about 150 to 200 cedis for an hour. So that's something to consider as well, and I'll leave my wife to tell you about all the other important things.
No, it's good. I think it's important to hear both sides, obviously. One thing that is actually very common for men, because we live in Ghana, men and women, are pedicures. We would wear more sandals, more flip-flops, our feet are exposed a lot more, and we're walking on the ground a lot more with our foot. So pedicures are very common. So even when I go get a pedicure, I see a lot of men in the shop, in the spa, getting pedicures also. So as Will said before, if you're not in the city, it is actually cheaper. I've been able to get a pedicure for, I feel like it was like 20-30 cities, which is absolutely nothing that what we compare to in the UK, which you're looking at minimum £20. So, and it's the full works, like your foot is in water, they're scrubbing, they're going for it, and you come out shining, looking clean and soft, and they paint your toenails. It's absolutely lovely. Obviously if you do like shellac and gel and all those things on top, there's a few extra costs, but I would say it's quite cheap to do. Whereas I've done it also in the city, and that has probably cost me about 120 cities. So it really depends on what spa you decide to go to. The same with nails also. I have made a mistake of trying to choose the cheap route, and my nails were not nice at all. So this is something that I've learned being here. It's not always great to cut corners. So I now do spend a little bit more on my nails. There are so many shops in like the East Legon, Cantonments, Le Bonny area where there's so many different spas where you can get things done, which is great. And the prices are still cheaper than London, still cheaper. So I think that's quite good. Getting your hair done, one thing that I'm loving is the fact that I'm in a place where everyone's got afro hair. It's normal, it's not something special anymore, so people can't slap on an extra price tag to it. So whether you're doing just normal braids, for example, I got my daughter's hair done and it cost 47 cedis for them to wash, blow dry, and camo into a beautiful style with beads. And that, in comparison to what we would pay for that in the UK, is absolutely ridiculous. I got a wash and camo just to go underneath a wig once, and that, I think the equivalent was £5. I don't think I've ever paid £5 for a wash, blow dry and camo in the UK, and they've done a great job. So that is something I can say. So you do actually save a lot of money, I would say, in the care factor, just because there are so many options, whether you're in the city or not. It's great actually, I love it. Thank you guys so much for watching our video. We hope you liked it. I hope you got a better understanding of the cost of living in Ghana, and how much things really actually cost here. I know there's loads of rumours. If you liked it, please subscribe, please like and share. Comment below, let us know your thoughts. Were you shocked by any of the prices? And we'd love to see you at our next video.